Hi, everyone, and welcome to our third Facebook Live for Women's History Month. I'm so thrilled to be sitting here with two amazing women. I have Juana Yanes, a Live Girl mentor with us, and Sarah Lubarsky, the Executive Director of the Connecticut Women's Hall of Fame. We're so excited to talk about Maria Sanchez this week and announce our winner. Sarah, can you start by telling us a little bit about Maria?
Yeah, so her full name was Maria Clemencia Colon Sanchez, and she was the first Hispanic woman that was elected to Connecticut's General Assembly, winning her election in 1988. And the thing that was amazing about Maria is that she left her five siblings and her parents in Puerto Rico when she was 28 years old and decided that she was going to move to Hartford. And she had only an eighth grade education, but she was fervent about education, and it's probably what she's best known for. And so when she came, she was working in tobacco fields and other jobs that a lot of other people would never want to do. And she was able to save enough money, and she started like a paper stand or on the street of, let me see, I've got a yeah, it was called Maria's Newsstand on Albany Avenue.
Oh, great.
And that is where she started. Should I back up some more? That's where she started to be able to talk to people in the community, other Puerto Ricans and Latina people that were in the neighborhood. And a lot of them felt very disenfranchised from the government. And so she would like talk on their behalf a lot of the times when some of the politicians would come to her stand.
Oh, wow.
And that's how she began to become a very trusted member of the community, of the Hispanic community. And there were some riots between they were called the Comanchero riots that broke out between the French Canadians and the Puerto Rican migrants in the community. And she was able to help quell some of the violence. Unfortunately, she couldn't do all of it, but quelled some of that violence. And from that point on, she became kind of like their spokesperson. And she worked tirelessly to get them in front of politicians and other people instead of, and including them in the decisions that were being made for their neighborhoods. So I'll just read one little quote. She said, one of the reasons I'm with the Democratic Party is to see what can be done for those of us who are here that are suffering the consequences of the decisions that are made without consulting the 30,000 Hispanics that live in this city.
Wow. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She sounds absolutely incredible. I mean, with an eighth grade education, making sure everyone's voices were heard.
Especially being the older sibling and taking on that role and just being a role model for every other Latino in the community. It's so incredible to see how united people can get with someone of their own, pretty much.
Yes. Yes, I agree. And she was tough. I mean, she's best known for her advocacy for education, and she was key in getting, I know that she helped get a priest that could speak Spanish so people could worship in their native tongue. She was key in getting Spanish as a second language in schools, have bilingual schools, and a lot of people pushed back against that and felt like they should only be speaking English in the schools, but she persevered and had that happen. And she did run, as you know, for the General Assembly. Now, she said when she continued to fight through for the Puerto Rican community throughout her years, but she had her difficulties. So in 1988, she was a Hartford politician by the name of Abe Giles managed to have Maria removed from the Democratic Town Committee.
Wow.
And she had served on that committee for 20 years and she felt betrayed. So in retaliation, she ran against Giles in the state primary for state representative, and she won the 1988 primary and subsequently the election. So she was one of the first Puerto Ricans and the first Latina to win a seat in Connecticut General Assembly. And a year later, unfortunately, in '89, she was found dead in her apartment from a heart attack.
Wow.
Oh, no.
When she got elected, unfortunately, she couldn't stay in for too long.
I mean, for having the nickname that she had of being La Madrina, which is known as the godmother, she was definitely, her years of advocacy and just fighting for everyone, it just makes sense why she was called the godmother for everybody.
Yeah. And this was all of her, this is the thing that always amazes me when I read about historical women, is that, they were doing all of this stuff there was no cell phones, there wasn't an internet, there wasn't any of this. It was all word of mouth and being there and showing up and keep pushing and keep talking to each other. And I think, I'm older than you guys are, but that's what I think we're missing in today's society, because I think it's very helpful.
Yeah.
It's good to talk to people face to face and figure out your differences, and people feel more included and more part of the whole process. So
I just find it so incredible that with an 8th grade education and as a single Latina woman on her own, that she was able to do all of this, and to become the first. Was she the first Latinx person to be elected, and to be a woman? Wow, that's incredible. Both. So I'm so glad that the hall brought her to our attention. I had never heard of her before.
Yeah,
I'm so thrilled. I feel like I'm just a more well-rounded person to know that this is happening in Hartford.
A Latina myself, I think that's something that I admire so much in her strive and her dedication. Hopefully, I could be someone like that one day.
You are already.
You will be. You're on your way.
Thank you.
Juana's truly amazing. We're so lucky to have her.
Thank you. I think it's just, one of the questions that I do have is, what do you think this a lot of girls can learn from her and her legacy?
I would think that they can learn from her to be persistent, to include others in the process so that they feel like their voices are being heard, and to also fight for what you believe in. Fight for what you believe in, and don't give up. If you feel like it's the right thing to do, don't give up. That's what I would think. Yeah. Because she didn't. She kept going and going and going until she got what she felt was important for the community. And the community backed her. And actually the person who took her place was Edna Negron Rosero. And excuse me if I'm, slaughtering her name, but she is also in the hall, and she was a Hispanic woman and took her place.
Wow, that's incredible. Yeah. And do you mind if I ask why she was chosen, or why both of them were chosen as inductees? Because they were first, or just?
Well, I think it's a little bit of both with all of our inductees. I mean, yes, we do have a tendency to induct a lot of firsts because
that's incredible
for obvious reasons, but also for her dedication and her persistence in doing the work that she felt was important.
Yeah, and I imagine that Hartford is still, enjoying the legacy and the kids in school there. So that's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Sarah. This has been so informative. Do you have any questions before we announce this week's winner?
Let's do it.
Yeah. Okay, so this week's winner is Sophie Westfall. She is a college student at Parsons School of Design. And Sarah, I cannot wait to show you what she came up with. She did the cutest, most creative little graphic of Maria with her newsstand, and I will be sure to send it to you, and I'm going to put it up on our website. So congratulations, Sophie. You have a t-shirt and a $25 Amazon gift card on the way. And then Juana, do you want to announce our notable woman for next week?
Yes, our notable woman for next week is Miriam Therese Winter.
And Sarah, could you just give us a quick one-liner about Miriam?
She is a nun, and she writes beautiful music. So I think everybody should go on to the, she's also, I happen to know, which is why she couldn't speak with us next week when we do this. She's going to be down at the UN speaking to women at the UN.
Wow, well, that's a very
She is a very powerful woman and the sweetest, kindest person you would ever meet.
Well, I can't wait to see what everyone comes up with, and I can't wait to learn more about her next week. So everyone, make sure to do your research and submit, because next week's our last week, sadly. But Women's History Month has been amazing. I've been enjoying every day of it, and I'm sure you guys at the hall have.
Yeah, we have too. We've been very, very busy.
Oh, I'm sure.
Tina Carlson will be here next week to speak with everybody.
Oh, great.
All right.
All right. Well, we'll speak next week. Thank you so much, Sarah.
Thanks so much. It was a joy. Take care.
Bye.